Hey everyone, welcome back to Masonzero MTG. As always, I'm making a list of top cards for Cube, because the Cube format is fun to play and to come up with new ideas for. This time we're covering the new set Zendikar Rising, but this set does feel a bit different than some other recent sets. These cards have a lot of mechanics that don't fit well in most cubes. Landfall is only okay, because even in cubes with fetchlands that only guarantees a couple turns with multiple land drops. Kicker is perfectly fine, but all the cards that benefit from Kicker don't do much in Cube unless it's a dedicated theme. Party is unreliable, and most of the payoffs aren't worth the effort it would take in Cube. So that definitely limits the options, since most of those draft themes are very parasitic and specific to the set. That being said, let's get into my top 5 picks, and if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more Magic content. Clay of Apparition. Clay of Apparition is a really cool card. On the surface, it's similar to Banisher Priest or maybe Banishing Light. It can take down any non-land, non-token permanent, as long as its mana cost is 4 or less. Which hits a lot of great cards in Cube. While normally these cards would be returned to the battlefield when the exiling card gets destroyed, this card returns a vanilla version of it, stripping out the abilities. It's an interesting version of this effect and possibly Cube-worthy. This card could replace cards like Fiend Hunter or even Council's Judgment. I think that all the enchantment versions of this effect are worth keeping though, unless you want to increase your creature count in white. I have Banisher Priest in my cube, so I may try removing that in favor of this card and see if I like it. Thieving Skydiver. Thieving Skydiver is a card that slots perfectly into almost any cube. There are so many artifacts you can get for the low price of kicking it for just 1 mana. You can't pay 0, but in high-powered cubes, you can get 0-cost artifacts by paying 1, since it allows you to get something less than the amount of mana you pay. So let's see, you could get any of the Mox, Walking Ballista, Mana Vault, Soul Ring, Skull Clamp, lots of choices. On top of that, you'll have a 2/1 flyer, which doesn't hurt. The fact that you can equip equipment for free is nice too. For 3 additional mana, any of the swords will do, or perhaps Umezawa's Jite. This card is seriously great. I'm not totally sure if I'll put it in my own cube because I don't have the Mox, and the Signets aren't quite as exciting to steal, but I think a lot of people will be excited about this card. Drana the Last Blood Chief. There are a couple interesting reanimation spells in this set, and Drana is probably the most interesting. A 4/4 flying creature is decent stats, and the recursion ability is unique to say the least. It is limited in that you must attack in order to trigger the ability, and your opponent gets to pick the creature, and it can't be legendary. So it's a little specific, but it's one of the few reanimation abilities that can activate every turn. A 4/4 flyer is likely to be able to attack with impunity for a while, and a sacrifice deck of some sort could make use of this ability. It's nothing amazing, but could be cool to experiment with, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'll probably remove Herald of Anguish from my cube for this, since that card is not exactly one I'm super excited about. Jace Mirror Mage. Jace Mirror Mage is a fascinating planeswalker. It's not great if you only spend 3 mana on it, but pretty cool if you spend 5. If you kick it, you get 2 planeswalkers. Then you can scry 2 and draw a card each turn, so it's Preordain or Serum Visions each turn. 5 mana is a lot to spend on that, but it's pretty great to have it be repeatable. Making 2 planeswalkers is also pretty cool and unique, and may be worth a slot in your cube. Does it replace the old school Jace Beleren? How about a generic blue planeswalker like Jace Architect of Thought? I think I will probably replace Jace Living Guildpact in my own cube, since that card is just okay, and I've been looking for a blue planeswalker that doesn't cost a ridiculous amount of money to replace it with. Blood Chief's Thirst. Blood Chief's Thirst is some premium removal. The only thing holding it back is that it's sorcery speed, but it's a great addition to the standard suite of cube removal spells. It feels similar to Fatal Push, in that the default is to kill something with mana cost 2 or less. However, Blood Chief's Thirst can also take out a pesky planeswalker. It's great removal in a cube that has a lot of planeswalkers. For 4 mana, it becomes about the same as Vraska's Contempt. Not exactly a cube-worthy card, but the flexibility is great. It's no Hero's Downfall if you're paying the full cost, but the unkicked version might just be worth it for the flexibility. Again, Fatal Push is better in most cases, so this will depend on how thick with planeswalkers and low-cost creatures your cube is. I think it's worth considering. In my own cube, I'll probably be removing the rather boring Ruinous Path just to mix things up and try it out. I'll be honest, it was hard to narrow down these 5 cards. There were a lot of cards I think are on a similar power level, but I didn't find that Zendikar Rising had a lot that the average cuber would want. I think there are a lot of interesting cards worth trying, and that a peasant cube or budget cube would have a fair bit to work with here. But who knows, maybe I was missing something. I just think these cards lend themselves better to constructed or to a more specific drafting environment. There weren't as many just generically good cards here. Since it was so hard to narrow these down, I want to put up some of my honorable mentions on the screen right now. I won't be talking about them, but I think all of these cards have a space in various cubes of different power levels. They will tend to lend themselves to an unpowered cube with an aim at fun rather than sheer power. Feel free to comment about any of these and tell me what you think, or if any of your favorites didn't make the list. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe for more Magic content in the future, and I'll see you all next time on Masonzero MTG.